So here I am, two-time cancer survivor, former pastor. I decided throughout the course of that thing, if my cancer did ever come back and did take me out, you don't go into ministry, you don't go become a pastor unless you go write books and you get on TV. You don't go into ministry to go get rich or to really set yourself up financially. That's not the point. You go into ministry because of mission. At least I hope you do. So for me, I never had like this plan to like set my family up financially. But after I went through cancer the second time, I realized I needed to do something different career-wise so that if this does come back, I can set my family up okay. So I had a friend who owned this construction company, the company that I'm at right now, Mid-City Electric, over in Columbus. And they were like, hey, you guys have been through hell for the last year, and you're looking at career change. Why don't you come just work over here for a little bit, try construction out. If you don't like it, jump somewhere else. That's totally fine. Not sure exactly what you'll do with your background. That was kind of the fork in the road. It was like, what are you going to do as a pastor over in construction? So, but I said yes. And I was like, okay, let's just try it out. Good benefits. And, I can work. If this is where I want to stay, I can, find some path here, but had no idea what I was going to do with my background as a pastor and as a cancer survivor. And especially going through, and the cancer episode had me go through my own mental health journey. It was traumatic. The entire thing was traumatic. So I did. It launched me and bottomed me out a couple times in my mental health. So I have this background, land in construction in 2019, having no idea what this was going to turn into. Just answered phones, did admin work for a little bit. And then a couple years after I started, I got promoted a couple times, did some good work, just hit the nail, kept it going. And then in end of 2021, kind of after lockdown was done, we started a wellness committee. And wellness committees in construction, like it seems it's like a good idea that tends to, fizzle out real fast. So I went into it was just like, I don't know, and I wasn't expecting my coworker who started it, Monica Poirier, she's an incredible friend of mine. She's the one who started it. She does kind of health coaching. She does kind of the physical side of well-being. She was like, hey, you're a former pastor. Why don't you come in and do the mental health stuff? And I was like, I'm not a doctor. I'm not a therapist. I'm not like, I just want to make sure that I'm not that, And she's just like, we don't care. You like people. No one else likes people, but you do. So why don't you just come on in and just join us for this? So we did. And about 3 months after that, we lost a foreman to suicide. And so it was one of those things where it was like, we had just kickballed the idea around mental health and what do we do with this? And then when we lost our foreman, it was really go time for like, okay, how can we take care of folks? It happened. We're in a reactive state now. We were being proactive and we really weren't getting any traction being proactive. Now we're in a reactive state. What can we do to go take care of the folks who knew him? So for me, I slipped right back into pastor mode. I went right back to, without throwing faith-based stuff at people and cramming Jesus down people's throats. I didn't want to do that. I just wanted to take care of people the way that I knew how. I was going back to what it was like being with that family who was on the verge of losing their son. And just being with them, bring them food, talk to them, give them space to feel whatever it is they need to feel. So I went out on those job sites with the crews who knew this guy, and that's exactly what I did. And that's what started this whole thing. That's what gave me this idea, well-being in construction doesn't have to be complicated. It's just get out and take care of people and show them this isn't some like bullcrap thing we're trying to do to squeeze more work out of you. We're literally just trying to take care of you because everybody wins if we're doing okay. So then that just launched into a whole program. We started out as like, okay, job site visits. That's a thing. We should continue doing that. Make it a regular rhythm of getting out to the sites, bring food, do the toolbox talks, and just be available for people to talk and meet right there. Advocacy. Not just having a therapist come out to the job site. Nothing wrong with that. But have somebody out there who's just there and trained to care and listen. And then that turned into, what if we started doing trainings? Let's do suicide prevention trainings. Let's do active listening training. Let's start developing a peer support group. Let's say all the people going through these trainings and they're like, this is awesome. I've been a part of this industry for 20 years and we've never had anything like this. What can I do? I want to be a part of this. Put me to work. We started having more and more of these guys that were coming out like, the crusty dudes that everybody was saying, like, you'll never get those guys. Yeah, but I have, because they needed to be shown what's possible. And then it just kept going and turning into this program. So that's where we're at now. It has really spilled out into the rest of the space in Central Ohio. What we started doing at Mid-City, other companies were looking at and being like, man, we want to do that too. So it's really given us a really cool position to go and show other companies what a program can look like. What is a living and breathing program that doesn't just post stuff for Mental Health Month and Suicide Prevention Month, but what's something that's just actively happening throughout the year? That's what we've developed, and I think that's what we have that's potent that other companies are looking at. So it's a wild story, man. It's been a wild ride. Like, it's been, if you had told me a couple years ago that I'd be doing this kind of stuff, like, I'd have been like, how in the hell do I get there? But that's it. That's how it's happened. So all this weird story of cancer background and being a former pastor and taking care of people, turns out it was a layup for exactly the kind of work that I'm doing now. I think the goal now is just like keep this program going over at Mid-City. And then my personal goal is to help out other companies and help them figure out programs too, and just keep developing that.